What's up, everybody? Hope y'all are doing good. So y'all, today's video is gonna be on a topic that I absolutely love, and I've noticed when I do make these videos, y'all, I tend to be, I feel like I'm stuck in the middle of like two groups of people, because everybody that knows me knows spirituality, God, religion, all that, is a big part of my life. I am a practicing Catholic. I do go to mass every week. I pray every day. That's just something that is kind of ingrained in me, that it's a path in life that I chose. I was not ever pressured or pushed into that by any means. I personally chose it myself, which makes it more meaningful and more special to me, because there was never any force on becoming that. So when I get on here, y'all, when I share my views and my beliefs, and especially from those in the gay community, there's a lot of very anti-religious people that are in the gay community that I have really noticed that the more I put myself out there, I know several people in my life that are like that as well. So, I think it's not a very uncommon thing in our community. I don't feel like it is at all. But, I get a lot of mean, hateful comments, and because they have no idea why I would want to be a member or a part of a group, or they call it a cult. Every derogatory term you can think of. Why would I want to be involved with a group of people that they hate gay people so much, and they've abused such and such, and they've hurt such and such, and and I understand that, because a lot of that I think really comes down to religious trauma. Because I had that growing up, y'all. I had some really shitty negative experiences in church growing up, and I was that way for a while. When I was a teenager, I was so anti-religious. I was atheist. Well, I was more agnostic really than atheist. I just was very unsure, but I just knew I hated organized religion so much. But as I grew older, I came to terms with the fact that I can follow a religious path, and I don't have to follow it like step by step exactly what they say. It's okay to have your own beliefs, and so that's me. And I share that on my videos as well. When I talk about being Catholic, when I talk about God, when I talk about religion, I make it very well known that I am not one of those dogmatic people by any means, that you have to believe in what I believe in order to get to a perfect little afterlife. No, I don't believe that at all. I think all paths lead to the same place. If you follow them in a hopeful, just loving way, I just don't think you have anything to worry about. And that's just my belief. If you don't agree with that, that's fine. But, on these videos as well, you have the opposite side, the super conservative, religious, dogmatic people. Oh God, they get so pissed off when I get on here and say that I am a practicing Catholic, but I don't believe every little nook and cranny of what everyone else believes word by word. It's like it really rubs them wrong that I have my own thoughts and my own views about stuff. So and those people will get down in the comments, and man, they will go at it. I've had to go through and delete some stuff before, like in my older videos. I even had to delete videos before, y'all, because it was too much. My phone was blowing up, and I was just like, to hell with this. So and that just goes to show you, trying, being a gay man, openly gay, and trying to balance a faith or whichever religious path you follow, it can be very difficult, because it's like you're stuck in the middle. You have one side pushing you away, and then you go to the other side and they're wanting to push you away as well. So you're just, you're on your own. You feel like a lot. And so I have a little support group around me of people that I know that support me 100%. So, that helps me out. But a lot of people don't have that, and they get torn. And, when I myself, when I first started kind of looking back into spirituality, when I went through the phase of hating religion, it was the same way. My friends who were very anti-religious, and then my family who was very religious, each was pushing me like in a different direction. And so I was just, I didn't know what to do. So I just gave up, and I thought, what, I'm just not going to deal with any of it. And all I did was told each side what they wanted to hear to make them happy. And finally one day, I said, nope, I'm doing what I want to do. I'm going to believe in what I believe, and I'm going to follow my truth and what I feel is right. And so that's what I've done. So, if any of y'all out there, if you're very open about your sexuality and you're a part of the gay community, and you are kind of in the same boat as me, you have a big interest, a big love and desire for things of a spiritual nature, metaphysical stuff. That's what I love. I love it to death. There's no other topic in the world, I think, that I could sit and ramble on and on about as much as I do with like religion and stuff. I think it's very, very interesting. And not even just learning about like Christianity. You know, I took courses, y'all, in college. I've read the holy books of almost every single religion that I could get my hands on. I've read the Quran, I've read the Torah, the Upanishads. I've read all that. And in Buddhism, I read the Lotus Sutra, which I thought was good too. And I mean, I got the actual book and the actual study guide to go along with it, so that way I could really understand what was going on. But the times when I would talk about me being Catholic is when it was really, that's really when the pissed off people started pouring in, and I really think that's sad because, it's like we're trying to get to a place in this world where everyone can get along, where everyone can possibly see eye to eye the best they can and can just try to love one another. But, if it's like people who are, very strictly Catholic Christian, they want gay people to change their ways and to convert, and, and if not, they're not welcome. And, that's a load of shit. By no means do I feel that I'm going to go to hell for being gay. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. And when I have stated that before on these videos, man, oh man, it really, really will piss people off so bad. I mean, I get these long messages, these long, boring comments of all these Bible verses that, are banishing me to hell, and it's just ridiculous. And then, you have the other side, the people in the gay community, and probably some of them probably not even in the gay community, I just need to start saying very anti-religious people, excuse me. You have them in the comments going back and forth with them, and then basically telling me, I'm an idiot for following this, and that, I deserve all the hate that I get because I'm stupid for even wanting to follow a path like this. So, it's very hard, being like to balance faith and religion as a gay person. I know that. And the thing is, I know several people that they're Christian, but they're Protestant Baptist. They go to church. People know that they're gay and they're very involved in it, but it's almost like, they have to be so secretive about it. They can't talk about it. And, I just think that's silly. Why? You should be able to bring your partner, husband, wife, whatever, boyfriend, girlfriend, you should be able to bring them to service with you if they want to, and if you want to, if y'all come to an agreement on that. And people need to quit trying to push people into believing what they believe, because, not everybody is going to ever believe the exact same thing you believe. Nobody on earth will. So, like, I don't know what you're expecting. I mean, if you're expecting everyone to automatically, have an epiphany and be like, oh my God, I just magically started thinking the way that this person, then you're a fool. I mean, you're a fool. Life is going to be very hard on you if you cannot come to terms with the fact that not everyone is going to think and agree on the same things you do. Politics, religion, sexuality, anything like that. They're not, I mean, you're in for a very, very hard life. So basically, what I had to learn, y'all, when I really began to follow my spiritual path, was, I had to tell myself there's going to be people that are going to attack me. There's going to be people that I'm going to get pissed off at because they believe certain things as well that is stupid. But I have to have the mindset. I have to be strong. I have to understand that is life. Nobody is going to look at things the same way I do. Nobody. Even if, you may think someone, oh, we believe the exact same things. But, I promise, keep talking, get to know them more, and you'll find little things that y'all begin to differ on. That's everybody. So, people want to put on these these damn rose-colored glasses and think everyone is, should see the way they see the world. And, it's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen at all. So, if you're gay and you want to follow a religious path, if you do, or, if that's something you're not interested in, that's fine too. I have friends that are not religious at all. They are atheists. But the thing about them is they don't care that I follow something that does not offend them. I talk about my stuff with them. They talk about, I don't judge them at all for what they believe. None of that goes on. You know what? We're different people, but we all get along. And so that is the most wonderful thing I think the world could ever have happen is everybody remain different but get along, because being all the different people out in the world, that's what makes the damn place interesting, I think, because I enjoy learning and reading and talking to other people from different places and different cultures and different backgrounds. I think it's so interesting. I don't know why in the world someone would get offended because someone doesn't speak English, you know, because y'all, I know people like that, seriously. They don't like it when people don't speak English in America. It's freaking ridiculous. You know, that right there is truly idiotic. That is an insecure human being if someone gets so upset because somebody speaks a different language than them. But guys, y'all, I could ramble on all day about all this because I get very worked up, very heated, very easily over it. So you have to excuse me. But, you know, overall, guys, if basically what I said earlier, if you are a gay man and you are having trouble finding a balance in your sexuality and your faith, and, you know, you're worried about what people may think of you, don't. It does not matter. You follow your path, follow what you want to believe, and I promise you, every single thing will work out. You will become, the more you ignore it, the more you look past it. All the haters, the stronger you will become, and you will become more grounded in your faith and your spirituality than you ever were before. So, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in to this rambling on video. I've been wanting to make it for a while. So, all right, guys, thank y'all so much. I will see y'all probably in the next few days with another video. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.